What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Yes, You Guessed It. Let's take a walk. I hope everybody had a great week. I definitely did. It's super hot, even in this studio right now, but I'm cool. Uh, I don't know why that's funny, but it's funny. I want to thank everybody for showing up, coming on here to check us out tonight. We have a just kind of a more laid back episode. I call it HOMEY Talk. We got a few trending topics we're going to discuss and just kind of get everybody's insight on some of the things that's going on in our world today. But before we get started, I'm gonna have everybody kind of introduce themselves and just give a little background on who they are and some of the things that they have going on. So with that being said, as I see it on the screen, Jerome is first.
Hello, I'm Jerome, little brother of Mike Robinson, blood brother actually. And I want to say like I'm very humbled to be invited on this show. I know you had the show for a while, and I've seen clips here and there, but now I'm here, and I appreciate the invite. I'm really humbled by that. So I currently reside here in Jersey City, work in New York City. It's pretty much like 6 miles outside of Manhattan. I've been here for about the last 16 years of my life. I grew up in Rochester, New York. That's upstate New York. And, the father of 2 wonderful kids. And here I am.
All right, Miss Trina.
Jerome. Hey, everybody. I'm Trina. I know Mike from elementary school. So we go way, way, way back. I'm from Rochester, New York as well. I've been in Atlanta, Georgia for the last 12 and a half years. I'm a twin. I have twin daughters. And one of my twin daughters have twin sons. So I guess that's my area of expertise.
Yeah. All right, Miss Tasha.
Okay, well, I'm Tasha Curry. I'm originally from Palaca, Florida. I'm a mom of 4. I have 25-year-old twin sons myself.
Oh, nice.
So I know about that twin thing.
Yeah.
And I have a daughter. She's 19, about to turn 20, and a 17-year-old son as well. I work for an agency that is contracted up under DCF, which is called Daniel. And we have a lot of different programs that serves children and families. And I work for the case management program as a compliance specialist. I love my job. I love the people I work with. And I'm a Christian. I have a relationship with God. I'm not all with the whole religious stuff. I'm just with Jesus. That's all I'm with.
Amen.
And so I'm a grandma. So
Yes, sir. And as always, man, I always like to announce it's always a special treat when I have people on that are homegrown, that are like family and like family. So Jerome is my actual factual brother, my little brother. I got to keep reminding him that he's my little brother. Trina is one of my classmates from back in the day. Like she said, we go way, way back. Middle school, all that. And Tasha, I met later on when my family moved to Florida, and we went to high school together. So
that was when he was a super singer, y'all. That's where his I think that's where his singing really started.
Whatever.
I had to throw that in there.
Whatever. So tonight, like I said, we're just gonna talk, man. We're just gonna see. I see we got an equal number of men and women, which is actually pretty dope. Because at first it was gonna be 3 against 2, but one of the ladies had to back out at the last minute. So we have an even playing field, which is perfect for you and I, Jay. Perfect for us. So the first topic I wanted to discuss was, the tragic submarine incident. What were y'all thoughts on that? First of all, do y'all know? Have y'all heard about the submarine situation?
I definitely have
Pretty
heard
much.
it.
Okay, so what was each one? I want to give each one of you guys' thoughts. Like, what was your thoughts on it when you heard about it?
Hold on. You have to say. Can you repeat the question? It's a little.
Okay. What were your thoughts on it? When you first heard about it.
Can you repeat it? I couldn't hear you. It was a little delay.
I think we having like a issue. Hold on.
On the submarine?
Right. What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was billionaires playing with their money, having too much of a good time, but in a dangerous situation. And I think typically when people have so much money, they want to push the line on their safety for some reason. I don't understand. And I think that was the case here. Billionaires that play, paying $250,000 a ticket, and something that was clearly unsafe, because I've seen about 25 different videos pointing out how unsafe this thing was. So if I could find out this information, they for sure knew this information. But unfortunately, it cost them their lives.
What about you, Trina?
I mean, I didn't give it much thought. I mean, it's always tragic when human lives are lost. I don't really watch the news. I've kind of like seen it here and there on like my social media feeds. But I mean, it's an unfortunate event. I'm not surprised. When you think about like how things in this world, and you think about different patterns and cycles, and I don't think it's like a coincidence that they were in the same place where this first tragedy happened, and it's not a coincidence.
What about you, Tosh?
I'm like her. I don't watch the news. That just helps keep down my anxiety, which I had told you before. But I did see it through social media, and then I went and searched for it and looked it up more, and I couldn't believe that. I guess it more so made me think about how much did they really value their life? Because there was so much information about how risky it was, and just the fact that nobody had ever done that to that degree. And so it just baffled me that because I don't know what the fascination was to be able to say you were the first to do something, and maybe that you have the money to do that. It's tragic. I'm sure the families were devastated. And I heard the young boy, he was, really scared, and he only really did it, I think it was for his dad or whomever. And so that's even sadder, that somebody went who was pretty reluctant to go, but they did it for someone else. So that speaks volumes about, doing stuff to people please, in which, that's something we talked about, Mike, in depth about that type of stuff. And that's like the ultimate thing, of just following up with what somebody else wants you to do. And, just at what point did they ever think, maybe this is not a good idea, and so it's just really sad. And it's like unreal that it came to that point that everybody was counting down to the time that they actually were supposed to run out of oxygen, and for this thing that it would possibly actually explode, and the fact that we knew this was going to happen, then it's just sad. It's just sad.
Yeah. When I
A
heard
lot of the
about it,
material wasn't even tested.
right, right,
Wow.
and the person that pointed out the deficiencies, they fired him. You know what I mean? So I think that I mean, when I heard about it, it kind of seemed like it wasn't real. You know, at first, I mean, the very, very first time I heard of it, it seemed like something out of a movie.
Right.
You know, but then, as I kept hearing about it, and people were reporting on it, and then too, these people signed like a disclaimer before they got onto, the vessel. It said, you may die, you may run out of air, you may do this, and you may do that, and these people signed off. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like you're torn because you feel bad for them, but then at the same time you're like, dang, why would you knowingly go and face all these risks, especially having a young, a child or a young man, on the vessel with you. I mean, it's just super crazy to me. And then when you think about what could have actually been done with that money that would have been productive in society. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I think it's a lesson for everybody, though. If you look at the big picture, for the young man to say that, he was terrified. He was afraid. He had, feelings like, this wasn't good, and he did not trust his gut. I don't think enough people trust their gut. Like, we have instincts for a reason. So I mean, society can definitely learn a lot from their mistakes, for sure. And just because you have money, you know what I mean? And I think maybe it was more so it's just having the money opens up more opportunity and for opportunities for different experiences, and maybe they just want to be someone that did something unique or exciting or whatever, which is fine. I'm all about adventure, but if my gut is telling me not to do something, I'm gonna listen.
I think that on a grander scale, when you have like millionaires and billionaires and people who are extremely well off, I think at certain points you run out of things to
people are coping at this situation.
You run out of things to indulge in, and so you're looking for something, anything new at that point.
Right.
Wow. Whew, I'm gonna need not to be that bored with
Right.
ever.
I mean, were you gonna say something, Jay? I think that like I said, I think that
I was saying the people situation.
I think he's
sorry, so
having a little issue.
Yeah.
I think that it goes to a broader spectrum. Like I said, when I think about what could have been done, like it was 4 people on that vessel. So what was that about? Over almost $2 million on that vessel at that point. You're like, do you imagine what that could have done for for instance, some homeless people or some hungry people, or somebody maybe may have been evicted from their homes and they needed, I don't know, whatever.
What about the amount of wealth that was on the first Titanic? I mean, this was America's wealthiest people on that. I mean, like I said, it's not a coincidence. Things in life happens in cycles and patterns, and if you're able to see those cycles and patterns, then you shouldn't be surprised.
And there's a couple of widows out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I even saw where this guy, I guess his stepfather was on the submarine, and he posted himself on Instagram at a concert, like maybe a couple of days before they announced that they didn't make it. And so he received a lot of flack for being at that concert and posting himself at that concert. But he said that that's what he thinks that his stepfather would have wanted him to do, is go out and enjoy himself.
He would know better than we do.
Right.
But I mean,
keep the party going.
There's a certain level of detachment that goes along with that kind of thinking.
That's what's really stood out to me is the amount of jokes and
he came off as definitely
like, this is crazy. That's what really, like I said, I don't follow the news, but the amount of jokes, I'm like, is this thing regular? What is it? Like, what's happening here?
He definitely.
That's what made me wonder, was it really real? Because of that big old thing with even with the news outlets. When you see clips from them, it was like, okay, is it a joke? But then, it was like, okay, no, this is really real.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a sad situation. But it also goes to show how we have we low key have animosity for rich people, for people who are what we low key do, because when stuff like this happens, you know what I'm saying, the first thing you say is, these people are crazy, they got this money and this and that and the third. we low key, have issues with people who are.
I think it's most so being shocked, Mike.
You said what?
I think it's more so being shocked, maybe not animosity, but just shocked that that somebody would decide to do that of all things, with, it just not being sufficient. And like you said, it was enough of warnings. I didn't hear that part about that they had fired the person who had told them, that how unsafe it was. I didn't even know about that part.
Yeah, that's true. Of all things to do, why that? Why that? You have people.
Yeah, they've been doing those trips since 2020, and way back they fired him way back then. You know what I'm saying? But what do you do? What do you do? I think it has a lot to do with how we see ourselves too. You know what I'm saying? If I'm the millionaire or whatever, it's just there has to be something missing. Like I said, you have to be super bored, or something. I don't get it. I don't get it. But prayers up for all the families, everybody that was affected by it.
Yes, for sure.
Definitely a lesson learned.
Right.
One of the other trending topics going forward is the Marcus Jordan and the Larsa Pippen situation. Is everybody familiar with that situation?
I have no idea who those people are.
Okay. So Larsa Pippen is the ex-wife of the basketball player Scottie Pippen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Marcus Jordan is the son of Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Well, we know that Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen played together on the Chicago Bulls, and they were very tight or whatever. But later on in life, they stopped being friends, I guess. And Scottie Pippen in particular had a lot of things to say about Michael Jordan recently, about his attitude, about his game, about everything. But then his son Marcus, who had just turned 30, is now dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, who is 48 years old, going on 49. Now the thing is that people are saying that Larsa Pippen did this, and Michael Jordan did this, Marcus Jordan did this to spite Scottie Pippen for the things that he was saying about Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So just from a man-woman perspective, how do y'all feel? How would y'all feel if somebody that you were close friends with, and then for whatever reason y'all broke up, your son or your daughter started dealing with their ex? You know what I'm saying? How would you? What do you think about that?
I'm gonna blame.
You know what? Jerome, you still have a big delay. I had to cut my phone off completely to get rid of my delay. So I don't know if that'll help you as well. But I looked up some information on it. Apparently, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan wasn't as close as he always thought.
This one on Larsa Pippen. She's old.
Jerome, you're breaking up. You may have to log out and come back in.
Michael Jordan's son, Bulls game, and they I think she's disrespecting her ex, somebody in history, and it's disrespectful what she's doing to her ex-husband, which I think this relationship is more based on trying to hurt her ex-husband. It has to be.
I think it might have caught up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my view on it, I think that it's definitely a wild situation, definitely unique. But after watching an interview of the two of them, I think it's genuine. It was just something, and they met.
Definitely.
Of course, she probably should have been maybe a little bit more reserved, or of the situation because of her age, and maybe. But it seems like it's genuine what they have going on. I mean, I wouldn't, be like that was probably the best thing for them. But right now, it seems like they're really paying for it, or the media, because of that particular relationship. But I don't think it was to spite the two of them. But you never know.
What about you, Trina? What do you think?
Like I said, I have no idea, like the background of any of these people involved. And I hate to make assumptions, but just based on what I know about relationships in general, that there's a lesson to be learned in terms of just knowing that we can't control what other people do and how other people, or who's compatible and who's not, and who should be with who. They're all adults at the end of the day. And they have the right to make their own decisions. So if that's what they decide to do, more power to them. And I mean, as far as like my Jordan is concerned, I mean, if they don't get along, or if they have some sort of beef, then that's between them. It didn't affect other people. That's how I feel about it.
But I mean, is there still a such thing as a girl code or a guy code? Is there anything or anybody that's off limits?
Oh, I think it definitely is.
But I mean,
that's different. That's
right.
Different.
And an ex.
That's what I want to know.
I don't think that would be included in the code.
That one.
I don't.
Yeah.
So if your son dated somebody that you were once friends with but are no longer friends with, and the break might not have been the best, but now turn around and your daughter is dating your friend's ex-husband, I mean, you wouldn't see that as somewhat odd, even vindictive, even like.
I mean, at the end of the day, we decide. Offense is a choice. We
Mm.
decide whether we would take offense. Like people tend to make things about themselves. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And Michael Jordan's son probably wasn't thinking about his father, nor was Larsa thinking about her ex-husband. You know what I'm saying? But people like to make things about themselves. So if they choose to take offense, that's not on Michael Jordan's son, nor is it on Larsa Pippen. Period. It's up to them. So if my son decided to date someone that I didn't have a good relationship with, I have to respect his choices. And if I took it personal, it would be my choice. If I took it as an offense, that would be on me, not on him or the other person.
Wow, that's a very that's a very mature attitude. Very, very mature attitude. I don't know if I don't know that I all the way agree, but I mean I can see your point. I absolutely see your point. I don't know. I don't know. I think that there still should be some type of boundary. You know what I'm saying?
The only boundary is to mind your business. To mind your own business.
But isn't it different when it's your when it's your child is involved? You know what I mean?
Well, if he's grown,
Not if
if
they're
he's
of
9
age.
years old, that's not a
Right.
choice. That's a grown man.
He grown. Yeah,
He's grown.
he good and grown. So it's like I may have a little bit to say, but that's your business at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I have 25. My sons.
So,
They didn't ask me about some of
Scotty
my friends. So
feelings just don't count.
Right.
Scotty feelings just don't count.
Scotty is responsible for his own feelings. This is a grown man we're talking about.
Scotty just don't have no feelings. Like he's just not a human. Like his emotions don't
Nope.
work. Like
It's fine. We all
he has
have
kids with this
emotions.
woman. You know that.
We are
right?
too. That's why when I say the mind is own business, then he should tend to his own feelings.
He has kids with this woman.
Yeah, and they have children. That's another. This
wasn't his mistress. This was a woman he has kids with.
Right, but
it's a conversation and you move on.
I believe they have about 4 kids, 3 or 4 kids together as well. So I mean,
if their relationship is not affecting the children, or if it's not, somehow unhealthy for the children, I don't know what the issue is. If that's his ex-wife, then she's free to do whatever she wants to date whoever she wants to.
And it goes though, like where's the boundaries? Where's the loyalty? Where's the
loyalty to who?
Right. Loyalty ends definitely with divorce. Definitely out the window.
She's absolutely free. I just feel like it's a moral thing.
Exactly.
Okay,
She
Jerome.
just hopped over the line. She didn't.
How do you
jumped over the
how
line.
do you when you say it's a moral issue? What do you mean? Can you
Just on a moral level?
What's morally wrong?
Too
about
many
it
men out there for her to
in
date.
your-
Scotty. I mean Michael Jordan's son.
I think morally, I mean, there are just some things that you just, there are just some things that you, like for instance, you're a twin. Would you ever date Tina's ex?
That's different.
That's a totally different situation.
I know that it's a totally different issue, but the point I'm trying to make is that there's a moral component, because so you're free to date whomever you please,
Right.
but would you date your sister's ex?
Right. So like I said, I agree that there is an unspoken code, but I don't think the relationship falls within those parameters. I just don't. I don't see an issue.
But would you though?
Would I date my sister's ex?
Yes.
No, we have very different taste in men. So
But
absolutely not.
but would that be the okay? Let's say it's a dude that that's just happens to be the anomaly. Like this guy is everything that you happen to be looking for. Would you date him?
No.
Why not? Because you're free. You're a grown person. You can do
Right.
whatever you want.
That's true. But it comes down to it comes down to
Morals, right?
not really morals. It's like your own personal morals. Like this is how I make sure I don't do anything I don't have a good time. Matter of fact, I don't do anything I wouldn't want somebody to do to me. So if it's something that I wouldn't want somebody to do to me, then I won't do it. Period. So that's golden rule, right?
Yeah. That's a fact. Your sister said don't bring her into this. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with Jerome. I think that while you are free to see whomever you want to see and deal with whomever you want to deal with, there should be a certain something within you that won't let you go past a certain point, or at the very least consider. Take a moment to consider what you did. What you're about to do.
I don't see an issue. That's his ex. It's not like they're still married. That's his ex-wife. Like she's a free agent. What's the problem here? I don't see any moral issues with that.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to say it's because of Scotty's feelings, that's
Do having kids with somebody mean anything?
What'd you say?
He said, does having kids with somebody mean anything?
As long as it doesn't affect the kids and it doesn't affect her ability to take care of her children, or they're not in a dangerous situation or abusive situation, because at the end of I don't see what the issue is.
They still gonna that.
So, oh gosh, I don't.
It's a no for protecting Scotty's feelings.
Right. That's Scotty's business to protect his feelings.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he probably too much worried about it.
No, he's worried about it. He's pressed. He's definitely pressed.
He should have thought about that when he should have worked harder at keeping his marriage together.
Maybe it was her fault.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the ins and outs, but
yeah.
She's gonna like remain single for the rest of her life because of it, because she wants to protect her feelings. That's not her job.
But then, like Jerome was saying, what about his kids? Like, how do I look at my dad after that? He looks like the biggest. Am I right, Jerome? He to me, he looks like the biggest sucker in the world.
I know, right? How?
Like,
it all depends on who's looking, right?
Right. Yeah.
Your sister hard. Trina, your sister is hard. Dang. Okay. Okay, she said forget him. Listen. I'm dying to ask you this. What kind of girlfriend are you? Like, what does a guy get when he gets you? Like, What is that?
Well, I mean, I'd like to think that I bring a lot to the table. Um, After my last relationship, I'm single right now.
Mhm.
After my some soul searching and and stop pointing the finger. You know what I mean? Stop choosing to take offense. Figure out what my role was in it and why it didn't work out. So now that I feel like I'm ready to, get into another relationship, the time is right. I feel like, I've done the work. So I feel like I'm bringing a lot of value to the table and a lot of wisdom that was hard earned.
Excuse me. How about you, Tosh? What kind of girlfriend? What kind of girlfriend are you? Like, cause y'all are super hard.
Whew, that's a loaded one right there. I don't. I definitely know I'm wife material. I was married for 10 years to my high school sweetheart. That whole thing or what have you, been divorced forever. And I bring a lot of wisdom to the table, a lot of passion, a lot of, I'm very understanding, sometimes too understanding. And I mean, I think we all have things that we want to work on and where we want to be at a certain point. So I'm working on all of those particular things. Why do I feel like I'm in a dating interview right now, Mike?
I'm sorry. I kind of went off the rails, but
Yeah,
I had to ask.
Tasha, let me ask you this: who was
Yeah.
responsible for your feelings?
Who was responsible? I'm responsible for my feelings.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm responsible for I'm feeling like I'm in a little dating interview. But I have so much knowledge now, much more tools than I had before. I mean, from being married to being single to watching other people's relationships and reading
She
and just
clearly like.
and so
I don't know. I just don't agree with what she's doing. I just feel like this terrible. And
Jerome, are you sure that's not
ex-husband feeling should
something
matter
that-
again.
I
They
don't
have
know. There's
kids
something
together,
that
and recently
sounds
of his
personal,
earnings
man.
of his pension.
Yo, he's coming in manly. I don't even know if
you made me.
you're saying.
Jerome, your brother made me. He made me do it. So.
Listen, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Well,
Jerome
it is.
He said what he said. He's sticking to
It is clear to me now that the two women on this panel are very, very. You know what I mean?
We did the work. We had to. We were responsible for our own feelings, just like Scotty is.
All of it. Right. That's why we can say it with confidence.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
people move on. Situations change. It's a conversation. Once you got it out in the open, move on.
Wow.
Nobody's making.
This is a cold world.
Jerome, are you single currently?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because let's get him in on the interview, right? Since he want to be funny. Ask your brother, Mike. How about that?
Jerome, what kind of a boyfriend are you? Like, I'm only asking by default because I was asking them because of the answers that they were giving. I'm going to ask you, what kind of a boyfriend are you? Like, as especially in this situation that we're talking
Well, I always learn from my past experiences, so I'm always trying to improve. I try to keep up communication. I try to keep dating, not get used to the same thing. We'll try to go out to ordinary, whether it's little dinners, whether it's just going out to the park. Just try to do things to just keep the spark going here and there. But sometimes work life and just being busy, having children, sidelines things. And you just got to remember to keep the flame spark. Whether again it's little dinner, it's going to the park.
about. Okay. So the next topic, the next topic was recently Keke Palmer. What is it? Spelling Bee girl, whatever. She was in a bunch of movies.
Aquila and the Bee.
She recently had a baby. She's in a relationship, and she went to an Usher concert recently. And the dress that she wore, to say the least, was very, very provocative. To the point where you could see directly through it, and she was wearing like a thong, it was a like a one-piece outfit underneath it, but it was a thong or whatever. And it just so happened Usher called her up on stage, and he was doing the Usher thing. You know what I mean? So her baby's father, who she's in a relationship with, went to social media and just kind of went off on her about her being a mother and being in a relationship. How could she do something like that? She's representing a family and this and that and the other. So with that being said, how do you feel about, how open are you, hypothetically, because you're both single right now? Hypothetically, how do you feel about being in a relationship with a person, and how much, I don't want to use the word control, I'll say input. How much input do I have on how you present yourself to the public?
If they're not married, he has no.
Yeah,
if he likes to have
What about you, Tasha? I'm done with her.
No, I'm right there. It's like, we're not married. You can tell me how you feel. I didn't see his what he said put on social media, what he said. I never saw that part, but I did see her and her, the clips of her with Usher. I thought it was probably a great experience for her. She looks fabulous. I wish I could wear something like that.
Right.
She doing it, and so many moms do go through postpartum and a lot of other stuff. So it seems like she's in a good place as opposed to the stuff she was initially posting on social media. So I'm like, you know what? That's that woman's business.
Right.
He's not her husband. I think it was definitely disrespectful for him to go on social media in that way. But I guess he was embarrassed by it all. But yeah, that probably is going to end their relationship eventually, because nobody wants to be humiliated online. And Keke Palmer's doing pretty good, in regards to social media and just different gigs that it appears that she's getting. So I think he probably messed up big time doing what he did.
So I mean, if we had a whole kid together though, like, do I get any type of?
It's a conversation. It's a conversation, but to say, to come off that way, but to be humiliated, it was worse for him to humiliate or whatever what was said, where it kept, playing. But that was, for him to go on there and try to humiliate her for dressing the way that she dressed, that's just uncalled for.
Jerome, I don't. Did you hear? Did you hear what we were talking about?
No, the topic.
Yeah, we're talking about Kiki Palmer. She went to an Usher concert, and her dress was like see through. She had on the thong or whatever, and her baby's father, who she's in a relationship with, was like, he went on IG and everything, and was like, "Yo, you're somebody's mom. You're you're a child, you're a mother now, and you shouldn't be out there like this. And you got to represent a certain way because you're a mother now, and this and that and the third." So, do you feel like how do you feel about that? How much input do you think that you should have on your significant other, how she presents herself to the public?
Absolutely, you should have some input. Now, I'm not saying what to do, but this here outfit, I didn't find it too crazy by standards, to be honest. I've been walking down the street and seen less, so to speak. So I didn't really find it crazy by standards, but her significant other definitely had to say so. I feel like the things he was saying could have been said behind the doors to her,
Yes.
for the most part. But like, yes, it wasn't like a raunchy outfit, but by today's standards, I over the top.
But like I was explaining to the ladies, we have a whole child together, though. You know what I'm saying? Is there okay? So their point was that if he has not put a ring on it, then his input should be limited, if at all. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying to you is that if we're in a relationship, if we're in any type of relationship, we have made a commitment to one another. You're trying to tell me that I can't say nothing? Like I don't have
but not saying that he shouldn't have feelings. He's entitled to have feelings, but there's a time and place for everything. And social media is not it, number one. But as far as rights, okay, so he's entitled, but he doesn't have rights because they're not married. In a marriage contract, you have rights, okay? If there's no contract, there's no rights, and he does not have a right. However, he's entitled to have feelings. But that's neither here nor there.
So, what stipulations come in a relationship? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
What kind of stipulations in a relationship? Are there no stipulations in a relationship?
Like I said, he's entitled to feel how he feels about his dress on it, inappropriately. He's entitled to feel that way. However, that was a conversation for them to have, privately, not on social media.
Right.
The pictures were publicly, so I found it publicly as well, because people were public.
So he reacted to embarrassment and the boy's gonna see, my girl out there with Usher and all of that. It's that ego stuff. You having a baby or having a child with somebody does not give you a license to do and say whatever you want to say.
So that goes. So does that go? I go vice versa. Can I walk around my house with my shirt off while you got company?
What?
That's a good point.
It depends.
Can I walk around the house with no shirt on while y'all got company?
You can do whatever you want to do, but if it's a conversation, everything
it boils down to the same thing as the other topic we were talking about. When it comes down to relationships with anyone, offense is a choice.
Yes.
So he chose to take offense. She had nothing to do with that. He chose to see it and make it about him and say, you know what, I'm offended.
Yeah.
Neither one of them could have been thinking about him, what he might feel, or what he. So it's still his responsibility at the end of the day to choose.
So for clarity, can I ask a question? Does a boyfriend has zero say so. Just so for
No,
clarity.
he absolutely he can feel and say whatever he wants to. It's fine. I'm not saying that he shouldn't,
Wait
and
a minute.
she can respect that. However, if we tend to our own business, if we a finger and start asking ourselves questions, it wouldn't be an issue. What he should have been asking is, why am I taking offense? Why do I feel offended? Why am I making this about me? That's the question he should have been asked.
Yeah. Because at that point, it was definitely made about him, and
Yes.
it blew up in his face. It really did.
That pride comes before the fall.
So the
Oh my
appropriate.
He even tries to bring the word into it.
That self-centered thinking, thinking the whole world revolves around you and think that every choice that someone else makes is about you. That's pride. Pride is self-centered thinking.
Yes.
It comes every time before the fall.
Was the outfit appropriate?
Mm-hmm.
That's neither here nor there.
That's
wow.
It really isn't. That's her body. If that's what she chooses to put on, who are we to judge and say if she thought it was appropriate, more power to her. Like Tasha said, I wish I could wear something like that. I mean, not saying that I would wear it out in public, but she looks
right.
baby. She looks great. Go
Okay.
Kiki.
Yeah.
No.
Like I
Hilarious.
don't find her outfit over the top, but she definitely should respect the feeling of somebody.
Jerome, she looked good, didn't she? Now, didn't she?
Absolutely did.
We can't deny that, right?
Right.
Listen, Linda, listen. Personally, just from a standpoint of just seeing it, yeah, I'm a guy. I got eyes. Yeah, she looked interesting, but I mean, personally speaking, you couldn't wear that without me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could not wear that without me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like sometimes in relationships, where we get messed up is that we always trying to make statements. You know what I'm saying? I feel like to a certain extent that outfit was making a statement. Like, yeah, I'm with you, but I, whatever. I do what I want to do. Like, you don't control me type of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
the only way it would make that statement is if he believed it was about him. That's it.
When she was getting dressed, I'm sure she wasn't thinking about that man.
Thank you, Tasha.
She was not thinking about him. She was thinking about, oh yes, I look good.
Yes.
I feel good.
Yes.
She done turned around and made sure she was straight. Yeah. She wasn't thinking about him.
My question for you, for the two of you guys, because you are like two of the toughest nuts to crack. I don't get it. But what is a deal breaker? What is offensive? What is like?
Let me tell you. At this point, if I feel offense creeping up in my soul, I have to shut it down. I have to remind myself that it's not about me, that I need to mind my own business. I need to ask myself a question. Why am I taking offense on what somebody else? I can't control what someone else does. I can't control what comes out of somebody else's face, but I can control what I do, and I can control how I react.
Yeah.
That's
that's a way to really be in a healthier place with your mind. What you got going on, Mike?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
My fault. My fault. Um, I just I don't I don't know. Like, I mean, I get the whole marriage thing, the commitment, putting the ring on it, I get it. But like Jerome said, you know, what do you I mean, what do you take? What can I say yay or nay to? What can I say? Okay, don't do that. Don't go out like that. You know what I'm saying? What is there is there any point where I have any level of authority at all?
Only
Maybe not a.
if you're a married man, Mike. You're married, right?
Yes, but it's the same thing.
No,
Same
it's
thing.
not.
You have a
It just
contract.
speak. That's a good point, Tasha. That's a very good point. Being married, right?
Yeah.
That does not change. What Trina's talking about, that attitude that Trina's talking about, it does not change.
No. Marriage, dating someone, or being in a relationship with them, and you're not married yet. I don't care how long you've dated. Marriage and just dating are totally different. I'm gonna treat it so different.
Yes.
Like on every level. Like you're not gonna get the married Tasha
Like
in
people
dating.
have children with each other. That like again, we're
That
talking
don't
about
give you no type of authority or cover
like
over
that
anything.
means nothing. Like
No.
that's what I'm saying. That means
It's a
nothing.
conversation.
No.
You're gonna be respected and you can be heard, but that does not mean that's the end all. You know, everything's a conversation, and everybody wants to be respected. I mean, we're not saying don't be respectful to somebody you're dating or that you're going with. It's a conversation.
Right.
But and you asked like about deal breakers. Mine is just being just totally disrespectful to me, being abusive. To me, those are definitely deal breakers with me. You know, and because all that does is it escalates into all these other different things easily. But everything's a conversation, and everyone wants to be heard and respected. And I'm not trying to say, oh, you don't have nothing to say about nothing because we're not married. No, it's a conversation, but it does not mean that what you say is going to always be honored or be honored because of I'm my own person. I'm not married to you, and you know, yeah.
It really makes a big difference when someone is married versus someone who's dating, because within a marriage, it's recognized as a legal contract, a legal binding contract. You enter into an agreement, and the wife is supposed to be submitted to the husband's authority. He's her covering. So that's like okay, we're all American citizens, right? Citizens have rights. Okay, foreigner, if someone else that were to come to this country and doesn't have citizenship, they don't have rights. That would be like dating. Okay, if something was to go down, okay, like say, okay, we're American citizens and we were to go travel to China, does that make us a Chinese citizen? It makes us an American in China, right?
Right.
Okay. So if anything went down, there's an American embassy in every major country in this world, right? So when you go and you travel internationally, because you're a citizen with rights, you register with the embassy, you let them know, hey, I'm here, I'm visiting China, right? Anything go down, your government has to come get you because you have rights. Okay, you have rights. That's like a marriage contract. You have rights. When you're dating, it's like being a foreigner or an alien.
So let me
If
ask
you're an alien, you don't have rights.
Let me ask you
Sure,
this:
I'm loving to break down.
isn't dating like the auditioning for marriage? Like you're
Still not right.
auditioning to
Still
be
not right.
married?
If somebody were dating and they had children and they died, those children are bastards. They don't have a right to their estate. They have no covering. They have no rights. But if somebody is in a marriage and they have children, then the children have a right to an inheritance.
Yeah.
because there's a contract, there's an agreement, and there's an authority set up. But if somebody's just dating, then they have, literally, we can consider your feelings, but you don't have any rights.
Special friend on the obituary. Serious.
Wow. That's all I can say. Like that. Wow.
I thought dating was auditioning to be married, like showing the qualities about dating.
Not always. We don't know anything about their relationship. Maybe they didn't have any plans on taking it any further. Maybe they're comfortable.
Well, we know it hurt her man feelings of how she dressed.
It's still his choice.
Whatever all of that he did and took to social media, apparently that's more than likely stuff he's been doing behind the scenes already, you know.
And it's on
people come out, just do something that drastic, you know. It's been brewing, you know. So it may just be jealousy.
Back in the day, when I was a kid, right? My mother used to say, y'all don't pay me no attention until I start yelling and throwing stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's one of them things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I came to you in a respectful way. I came to you whatever, but it don't seem like you're paying me any attention. So now I'm gonna make this a public thing. Maybe you'll pay me. Maybe you'll pay me.
If he wanted his opinion or his feelings to count, then he would ask her to marry him.
And he would have said at home. He would have waited
around.
But y'all had Jerome, help me out. Y'all had a whole baby. Like, what's a greater commitment than that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, 4 kids don't matter, 3 kids don't matter. Like, what matters?
No right.
People have babies with people every day.
Only rights.
The only right I have is to knock you up every 6 months, 7 months.
He has no rights. He has no rights. Period. If he wanted rights, he'd marry her. Other than that, you know, he's entitled to his thing, but
wow.
Period, Trina. Period.
my friend Clarvette, she's here in Virginia. She texted me and she was like, I gotta get in on this conversation. So I sent her the link and she is muted and I don't know what she's doing.
I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm here, but you know, I wasn't expecting you to come down. So yes, my picture is let's get that. But I have this conversation, it is everywhere. It's everywhere. Even from, you know, MJ's son to the baby, to the girl he's dating and all the ex-wife of Pippen. Again, I agree that Pippen needs to deal with his feelings. He's a grown man. He divorced him. His loyalty was with MJ.
Thank you.
Not his son.
Amen, sister.
His son has no relationship with him. He doesn't owe him any loyalty whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But now when we come to this topic of, you know, whether this dress was inappropriate, whether the baby should have said something. I mean, there's a level of respect at the end of the day. There's so many incidents that we have no idea that has taken place. This could be publicity stunt. But at the end of the day, she has to respect herself. And if she felt comfortable in what she wore, then that's on her. It doesn't affect how, you know, good she may be as a mother or not.
Yes.
It just means that's just who she is.
Yes.
And as far as, you know, if he's not the husband, then okay. We really don't have anything to say. But, you know, if he's a fiance or whatever, I'm just saying, they're in a relationship. If they're in a relationship, there is a level of respect.
I love how Mike and Jerome sat back in their chairs after that.
Right. Like y'all thought she was gonna agree with y'all.
Thank you for that.
got into
Thank
it
you,
yet.
sister. We appreciate your input. Thank you.
I disagree
It's a
with
whole
things
world.
Right, right,
no, because when you're in a
right.
relationship, there's a lot. I think that we're using the incorrect terminology. We kept throwing around the word rights. You know,
Right.
there's no ownership in anything, even in a romantic. If you don't own me, I'm still a person, but I respect you in the relationship. That no, I'm not gonna go out here dress any kind of way because we are a representation of each other.
Yes.
Wouldn't expect you to go out there. I would be upset if we're the fiance because at some point you want to get from girlfriend to wife. So there is a point there where you communicate with each other, you respect each other, and it's not about having rights, but that you respect the person that you're with. Because how can you say we're going to be married and you're going to start to give that person respect, communicate, and listen to them if you haven't done courtship?
And not every man is gonna have a problem with that outfit, you know.
Exactly.
Even husband. So
That is because her,
It's not going to have a problem with it.
so that's why it matters,
Think about what you want as a person too.
you know. And I think his feelings should be validated because that's her man and her baby father, and she's a reflection of him and their child together. You know, she's definitely a reflection of her. So his opinion has to matter. So
He's
her outfit,
entitled to his opinion,
but
Yo,
I think he could have left that off of social media.
yes.
That's what made it
I'm
so
place
big.
everything.
Nothing, and he might still don't care, but we don't know that. You know, he might be something to him to say, yes, that's my baby mama.
yeah.
He's
And
doing
like worse, he was trying to mess up her money or something, you know, because clearly everything that you, especially with celebrities, everything that people do to them and that they do that's out in the open, it's gonna be, you know, picked through, and you know, like we're having a discussion about it now. So it's like
right.
did he ever think, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this, you know, because of this, you know, as opposed to, you know, just I'm gonna voice my opinions and make it about me, like Trina said, make it about you.
Mm-hmm. But you know, when it comes to celebrities, all publicity is good publicity, right?
Mm.
They're all trending now, including
wow. Listen, I'm sitting here and I am I am flabbergasted.
I'm with you on.
What's so hard for you guys to understand? What is so hard to believe about it? We're not.
Basically it sounds like to me you're saying I don't have to respect you until you put a ring on it.
Yeah, like nothing matters. If we're married, nothing matters. Anything goes.
No, that's
I
not
think
what
you
we
guys
said.
are hearing what we're not saying. You're focused on what we're not saying instead of focusing on what we're actually saying.
I mean, I actually said that there has to be a level of respect.
Right.
Which is really what we're talking about. It's not about right. It's about respect. There has to be that level of respect to even have a relationship.
Exactly.
Period.
It sounds like, to me, it sounds like more of a, I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to do what I want.
Right.
Right. I hear you, but all right, whatever. I'm going to do this. You know?
No.
You know, that's
Here's
how.
my thing. Who's the judge of what's acceptable? Because like Tasha said, some guys might not have an issue with their woman dressed like that. It's still his choice to take offense to say I feel disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
It's still on him.
And he can be heard, and it can be a conversation, but that don't mean it's gonna, you know, make me go change my outfit, or maybe it would, you know, because, you know, it just depends.
And it doesn't invalidate his feelings. We're not saying that he shouldn't have feelings. What we're saying is he needs to be asking himself a question. Why do I feel this way? Why am I taking this personal? Why am I choosing to be offended? Why do I think I can control what someone else does with their body?
Yeah.
this after I've given you, I've impregnated you. Like I've
Still
impregnated.
not husband. That still doesn't give him any right.
Yeah, I told you people having babies by people every day.
Every day.
I don't know, man. I listen. I don't know.
Now, see, Mike, you're married, right? You guys are when you're married, you come together. You're as one flesh, right?
Yes.
As one unit, right?
Yes.
To become one. Okay. And you're her covering, you're her authority.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So you guys, you move as one unit, not two separate people. Right. And you both of you have rights under law. And your children have rights. But if you're in a relationship and you're not married, even if you have children, if there's no contract, if there's no legal contract, no legal binding, you know what I'm saying, binding contract, then I'm not saying he's not entitled to have feelings. I'm not trying to invalidate his feelings, and they could be genuine. But it's something that he has to deal with himself. It is not on her. She can't control how he feels. If he wants to make it about him, then that's on him, not her. Period.
I'm really getting stuck on the word feelings.
Listen.
Forgetting feelings.
Anyway, moving right along. Jerome, my last topic, right?
Right.
Man.
50-50 on the bills in the house with man and woman. Married or unmarried, you living in the house together. How do you feel about 50-50 on the bills?
At the very least, if you come in under, should expect a split. Now, depending on sex, you could, I guess, negotiate there. But if I agree to move in with my significant other, I'm at least under assumption I'm paying half of the bills, and I would expect her to come in at least under assumption she's paying. We come together and I'm like it's 70-30 or 60-40. That's different, but at the very least, you got to come into the situation expect half of the bills, and I think that's only right. I just think that's only right. If you want to vary it from that, you go 60-40, 60-30, whatever the case may be. That's prerogative. Coming in, and I'm gonna come in with under the at least 50-50.
Ladies,
I want to go as Trina. Go ahead, on Trina.
Well,
you know what? I'm almost scared to hear what she got to say. I'm almost scared to hear what she got to say.
well, it really depends on the people in the relationship and what they're comfortable with, right? So I feel like God made man and woman, right? And we're in different bodies because we have different functions, right?
Okay.
Not that one is greater than the other one. We're both equally made, you know what I mean? But we have different functions at the end of the day, right? A man's function, I mean, he's built, he has the muscles, he has the equipment. A man should be able to carry his whole family. He's designed that way by God, okay? He's designed that way, right? A woman is the one who has the womb, right? She has the womb,
Sure.
okay? So whatever he brings home, you know, she's the one that grows it. She's the one that if you give a woman a seed, she gives you back a baby. She's gonna nurture what you give her and make it grow. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's her function. And not just on the physical, but on the spiritual level as well. You know what I mean? So if you think about if you go back to the original purpose of why there's men and why there's women, it would behoove a man who knows who he is to say, you know, if you want to work, you should have the choice to work. Some women, you know, they want to. They have, you know, great ideas, or they have really good careers, or they really enjoy what they're doing. They're, you know, it might be a calling or something like that. So it all depends. But I think a lot of these guys are unrealistic because it's like, okay, we are the ones with the womb. So if you want to start a family, right? I guess she's supposed to carry the baby, right? Have the baby, take care of the kids, right? Take care of the house, right? Take care of all the cleaning and cooking and then work as well. So what is he doing in the meantime? Just working?
First of all,
like, how is that
I
fair?
got a problem with. First of all, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
I got a problem with the word just. You saying y'all you just working.
Because
I
if
got
she's
a problem
working
with that.
too,
Let's stop the bus right there.
Too, what if she has to work too, you know, and do all these other things? That's what I mean by what is he doing besides just working?
Well, I think it's a different dynamic. Well, let me reframe this. If you're already working, I'm already working, we come into a relationship and we decide to live together. Is it fair for me to expect for us to pay the bills 50-50?
I think it's just a discussion that like I said, depends on who's in the relationship and what you guys are able to compromise and come up with, and what works for you in your relationship.
Okay.
And this could be the way I'm thinking. It could be the reason why I'm single. Who knows? Because I notice and I see this question posed a lot on, you know, social media platforms and stuff like that. And I think a lot of guys, I'm not going to say every guy, but I see a lot of guys that's expecting or think that women are supposed to go half on everything, which is, I don't know. I feel like if a woman understood her function as a woman and really understood her ability to nurture and grow everything that she's given, you know what I mean? They could be very successful. It could be a really successful relationship if each person functioned in the way that they were created to function.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say, Tasha?
Man. Like, seriously, I think it's, first of all, to each his own, and it is a discussion. And for myself, because I can only just speak on experience, knowing me and my ex-husband went through marriage counseling. And this was one of the things, a conversation that was discussed. You know, you got to put your expectations out there. And we were very young, but I knew what I wanted, you know, as far as, and I wanted my husband to be the main provider, or to want to be the provider, you know. But I never imagined myself never wanting to work. And I wanted to be a mom, and I wanted to have the opportunity that once I started having kids, to be able to stay home with my kids and nurture them and be able to, you know, for a certain amount of years or a certain amount of time. But I would always want to be able to have something on the side to be able to bring an income to help us. And if I saw us struggling, then of course I'm going to, you know, work. You know, I would never let us drown. And at different times I did. It was like, okay, daycare is out of the way here at this point. It is best for me to, you know, to work. So I think it's to each his own. I would not want to be with a man who did not want to be the sole provider.
Yes.
But with me, I'm gonna work because I like to see my name on the check. You know, I like to be able to, you know, take care of myself and have my own money. But as I would that 50-50 stuff, it would not work for me. But for some people, it does work for them. And some people will go into the relationship and thinking, okay, we can do the 50-50, or we can do, what are you saying, 60-40 or something like that. No, I need you to carry the burden of being the head of your household. And
What you're
that
created to
older,
do.
I find that older men, they have that because they've been raised that way. I would never be a woman who just didn't do anything, at the house or did any. I would always bring more and grow what we have, and bring more to it. So I'm not going to let you outdo me just in regards to what you're doing for the family. I'm going to meet you there and then jump in when I see you're struggling. We're not going to drown because, oh, I'm not going to work. I'm not going to help provide for us. So that's just how I think. But that 50-50 stuff, no, I don't need a roommate. I need a husband. I need a covering,
Different world.
That's right.
burden of.
It's a
But
different
that's
world.
my thoughts on that.
It's a different world where for the average American, not the five don't cut it. Like the average American part-time job or even more than one part-time job. Just to throw that burden on one person, just the male, I just believe that kind of big vibe because you're actually a parent, you're a father. You can't count that you didn't actually give birth to the child, which I think sometimes is counted a lot. You can carry the kid for 9 months, but just I think just to put that financial on person.
No,
Fair.
I'm not saying it
Like,
all on one person. I'm just saying that the man should have the response, should feel that. Some men don't feel like you got some don't feel like they should do anything, but it's just,
So how do we
it's a
define
lot of things
50-50?
going on now.
How do we define 50-50, and how do we define providing? Because
Mm,
it's split in so many different ways. Like 50-50 could be that this man does financially because he's able to, and the woman making sure the kids have clothes, the kids have food, the house is clean. You still nurture him as everything else.
That's
And
work
if
too. That's work.
he can,
yeah,
it's work, but that's if he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But could still be, he's there as a support because sometimes the women are breadwinners now. So could it be it's 50% is supporting you on the other end if you're able to financially sustain the family and he still can lead. But in order for him to lead, even as the women who are bosses and making 6 figures and not be doing that, if we can become submissive and allow him to lead, even in our higher echelon where we're making all this money, then the 50-50 wouldn't matter because he would still be the head. And the head of the household comes from a mindset that you are responsible for him as a man. He's bringing,
mhm,
or he's bringing what he can. And as a couple, you're supporting each other to make it.
yeah. I think what the 50-50 is always, when I hear about it, is in regards to money, you know. But I definitely agree. If you're doing all those other things to help out, that's good as well. And then it may be a time where I would have to step in. I
Right.
just wouldn't go into something, whereas in I know that that's somebody's mindset up of that I should be paying 50-50 of the bills. I just know that that wouldn't be comfortable for me. It's comfortable for some people, and some people go into that saying, "Oh, okay, that's fine with me," but then they realize, "No, I don't want to do this,"
They
and
got
then
the raw end of
women.
the deal.
What'd you say?
I said they find out they get the raw end of the deal.
Right,
Because
and then
taking care of children is
so
work.
what's the
Cleaning a
percentage?
house is work. Taking care of the house, cooking, that's work. All of that is hard work.
But that can be
sex,
shared work, though.
did all of that. That's work.
So what percentage do you expect to pay? As-
Like I said, I feel like if a woman wants to work, it should be a choice. You know what I mean? Um,
Whoa.
Wow.
the man should say, "Honey, you work if you want to work, but it's optional, it's not a necessity." Because I know that I'm equipped, like God created me to be able to to take care of my whole family, to protect and provide. That's what I, that's my function as a man. You know what I mean? So like it's up to the couple. It's up to each individual how they feel about it, but it's something that should be discussed, at the beginning of the relationship, and just see how what works for every relationship is different.
Agreed.
It definitely
No,
is.
your sister, she's wilding. She's wilding right now. She said, let's put it back up here. She said, well, what is the incentive for women to get married?
That's a great question.
Wow.
A great question, because if I'm working, right? If I'm working, and
I thought
say
it
I'm
was
working 40 hours a week, right?
Huh.
So we both have traditional jobs and we're both working 40 hours a week, right? And depending on, so say I'm working and we have children, right? So I have money, you have money, right? We're both bringing in money, and we have children. And if I'm the main, the one that's taking care of the children and teaching the children and you know what I mean? Take care of children, and if I'm the one doing the cleaning and the cooking, why do I need him?
Wow.
Seriously though.
Okay.
Why would I need him?
Say
No, seriously.
That question that she's asking, what is the incentive for women to get married?
What would be that
it implies so many things. And you know what? Speaking as a married man, right? One thing I will tell you, I'll tell my brother since he's on here too. When you get married, prepare to get the short end of the stick every single time.
that is not true.
Listen to me, especially especially if you have children.
What are you talking about right now, Mike?
Be prepared to sacrifice your rest.
We need to have a talk with your wife.
To sacrifice your money.
Okay.
Be prepared to sacrifice your personal well-being, like things that you got issues with, you can't say nothing because you just the dad, or you just the husband, or you just the man.
No, that's not true.
That's a fact, and I'm telling you right now, you have to be prepared to be the person. You have to be prepared to not get the big piece of chicken every time.
It's called compromise. You guys. I mean, I can't speak on that because I'm divorced. You know what I mean? So obviously, my marriage did not work out, but that was a long time ago. So I can't speak on that. You know what I mean? That would be like asking a fry cook how to cook. I don't know. But what I can say is, it's a compromise. It's not about. It just depends on how you look at it. It's all about perspective, right? It depends on how you look at it. So if you
I can't. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Why do you think that you should have the big piece of chicken? That's my question.
Well, here's the thing. There's a dynamic that men have that women don't.
Okay.
So for instance, I grew up a single parent with a single parent, my mother, right? So inherently, right, I grew up believing that if a man and woman broke up, every single time, if I hear a man and woman break up, I automatically assume that it's the man's fault. Automatically, because I've been raised by a woman who to me is perfect. This woman to me is perfect because she is the closest to me. She does the most for me. So I'm assuming that every woman is like this woman, or at least should be like this woman. So like when I hear about relationships breaking up, I automatically assume, it never occurs to me that a woman could cheat. or that a woman could lie, or that a woman
Wow.
could do something that to break up. And you know, that was something that I had to kind of like break out. That was a motive through experience, I guess. I had to learn to break out of that and be more open-minded. And fast forward, even now, if my wife, God forbid, if my wife and I ever split, right? It may not be openly said, but the consensus probably would be that it was my fault. I would be responsible. If this family went down in any way, if she went out, maxed out every single credit card, had a crack habit, alcoholic, cheating, whatever, it would not matter. It still would be on me.
How so?
That's just the way. That's just the way society frames it. Because just like you said, I'm supposed to be the covering. I'm supposed to be the provider. These are things that I'm supposed to be able to handle, per se.
That's
These
right.
are things that I'm supposed to be able to deal with. So if something ever happened like that, like I said, she could go and spend all the money and send us straight into financial shipwreck, right? When people on the outside looking in look at it, they're gonna be like, "What was he doing?"
Yeah, what he doing?
Or how come he couldn't control his woman?
Okay, so
You know what I'm
let me
saying?
explain something. Let me help. Let me see if I can help you from a fundamental perspective. Okay. Oh gosh.
Y'all have a lot of leeway. Y'all have a lot of unsaid leeway that men don't have. Y'all can mess up in ways that men can't. Like you can, not to cut you off, but you could go out and cheat, right? And people will say, "Well, dang, what was he doing?" Now you're the one that went on and cheated, but they're looking at me like, why is it, what, dang, he wasn't putting it down, or he wasn't, he must not have been doing what he was supposed to be doing. He must not have been da-da-da-da-da. But you're the one that's out there cheating. Now flip that around. If I go out and I cheat, oh, this dude is a dog, he ain't no good. He want this, he want that, he want his cake and eat it too. He trying to have it all, this and that. It's you know, it's not the same.
You know why? You want to know why? We have to go back to the mind of the creator once again. Okay. And we have to look at how God set up authority. So if a man is not under the covering of Christ like he's supposed to be, that's his authority, then if he's not under the authority of Christ and he's married, then if he's not under proper authority, how is he going to be her covering or her authority? So yes, it does fall back on the man because God set it up that way for a reason.
So if you can agree with me, on that, you can surely agree that there's much more pressure on me to perform.
No, there's no pressure at all.
And listen to me, though.
Okay.
There's a lot more pressure on me to perform in certain capacities than it is for you. Because at the end of the day, if you fall short, there are mechanisms. Society has set it up to the point where if a woman messes up or whatever, or falls short or whatever, they're more apt to go and help you. But if I fall short, if I make a mistake, they'd be like, this dude is sorry. He need to go get him another job, or he need to go get a job, or blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of excuses are made for women when they mess up versus men.
That's because I'm trying to tell you, if you are in the position that God puts you in, and so you're under the covering that of Christ, and you know who you are as a man, right? As a created being, right? If you're in position, then that would give you would have everything you need to provide to function in the way that you would.
Okay.
So what decide what if something goes left though? I mean, we still have free will, even the covering of God.
So that's why it tells the wife to submit. We're supposed to submit to our husbands. We're supposed to submit to the authority
Okay,
for
so
a reason.
submit
If he's not
your
under
check.
the authority of
Submit
Christ,
your check.
if he's not
Submit
if
that half.
he's not where he's supposed to be, then we're not going to be able to be where, as a wife, we wouldn't be able to be where we're supposed to be.
But the thing,
Yeah, submit
thing
that half.
If he's uncovered, then we're uncovered. We're
Okay.
exposed.
but I think to that statement, if he's not where he's supposed to be, we can't fit. It's not that because we're supposed to fit. Even husband or our husband at that point that we submit to our husband, even husband and fall short is not fit, but cover him and support him to get the place where we can continue to be submissive to him because he's still the head, but knowing that he is still a man and he shall fall. So, but we got to support him on the end. So submission is a period thing. Not within reason, we submit and we say, okay, that ain't working. Well, how can we figure out how to do it next thing?
Go ahead.
I was just saying that's
breaking
submission. I changed it up to be submissive if he's a strong, if he's this and if he's that.
So I have to provide financially. I have to provide physically. I have to be spiritually sound as well.
That comes first.
And I mean, not in no particular order, but I'm just saying.
No, that comes first. When that comes first, everything else would not be an issue.
That's not necessarily true because we still are all our own. We're still all our own person. You get what I'm saying? So like, somebody asked, what does that have to do with going 50-50? I say it has to do with going to 50-50 because of the things that the unspoken things that we are responsible for and held accountable for. I feel like that's the least I can do is the least I can ask for is for you to help out financially, especially if you're working already. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know.
It depends. It depends on the relationship, the dynamics, whatever you agree with your partner. It depends on if you're married or not. Like, there's different rules.
Yeah. And different of the relationship where it may call for something else, right. for a lot of different compromises in a lot of different ways, but ultimately,
Ultimately, that you guys were created if you are in the position that your God put you in, and you're submitted to the authority of Christ, and you're the head, then you would have no issues providing for your family and like literally being able to provide for your whole family, your wife.
But spiritually sound don't have nothing to do with coming up with that mortgage or rent on the person. You know what I mean? Like,
I think the issue coming from their means or trying to keep up with the Joneses as well.
Never heard a landlord ask me to recite a Bible verse.
I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about kingdom, and it's the reason for that. I'm talking about government.
So are you saying that if I'm proficient in all these things, my wife will never cheat on me or make a mistake or mistreat me or whatever? If I'm sound in all these other areas, I will never have to worry about that.
We all have free will, right? So whatever she chooses to do or not do, that's you know what I mean? We all have free will. So if we take that free will and submit to our Creator's will, if we would know what's good for us, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, everything. I don't want to dive too deep, but I'm talking about government, and it's set up this way for a reason, right?
Mhm.
So we have the authority system in a kingdom is set up the way it is for a reason, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
and if we go back to Genesis, we look at creation, right? Whatever God speaks to, like God spoke to the waters and called forth fish or whatever. God spoke to the ground and called forth trees and grass and stuff like that. So whatever God spoke to, that's the authority. Okay, a tree will never outgrow the ground. A tree is never going to get up and say, "Okay, I'm grown enough. I'm just going to uproot from the ground." It'll die, right? A
Mhm.
fish will never outgrow the authority of the water. If you take a fish out of water, it will die, right? Who did
Most
God
times.
speak to when God created us? He spoke to himself and said, "Let us make man in our image and likeness," right?
Okay.
So who's our authority?
He is.
Okay, so if we uproot ourselves and decide to act on our own, if we detach from our authority, what happens? We are dead spiritually. We will, if we eat from that tree, we're spiritually dead. We shall surely die, right?
Okay.
And that's what that fundamentally that's the issue for every problem there is now, because authority has been misplaced by blame.
But however, not to go go too deep in spiritualness, if I can make up a word. But the Bible also does say that money, and I quote, solves all problems.
Listen, can I point out that Tina?
And
The
that's
love of
scripture.
money. The love of
Listen,
money.
out that Tina said that she more likely than she if she paying half.
Yeah, I seen that. That was funny.
That was funny.
Good point, Tina. Good point. I do not, I'm not with that, but yeah.
At the end of the day, fellas, get back in position, submit to the authority, get back in position. So if you want your woman, your wife to submit to you, you have to be submitted. A woman
Watch
is
God.
not going to submit to a man that's not where if he's out there cheating, whatever, that she's not going to submit, period. We're looking for a father. We're looking for a covering. It's in our DNA. I don't care what day and age it is. We're still fundamentally the same. Our brains are still wired the same. We're
If
looking
your
for a father.
significant
We're
other
looking
come
for a
to you and
provider.
say,
We're looking for
I
a
need help,
protector.
you paying half. Are you gonna feel some kind of way? You're gonna look at them different.
Say what? Say that again.
Your significant other come to you and say, "Hey, things is a strain on me. I need you to pay half." You're gonna feel a certain way.
Right.
No, I got you, but this ain't gonna continue forever.
Then you don't got them.
You guys will have to sit down and look at your budget, see where you can make costs. Are you trying to keep up with the Joneses? Like, you know what I'm saying?
All
Like,
that.
are we spending money where you know what I mean? Where we gotta have it? Like, it could be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Okay, so my sister Clarvette has not really spoken much,
I'm
but
just
not to tell her business, but she is a thriving business owner. She is very, very comfortable. She is a boss in the literal sense. And there aren't too many guys in her age bracket or in her circle. And please stop me, Clarvette, if I'm overstepping.
Go.
But there are probably very few men in her age bracket that match her professionally. So in a dynamic where a woman makes considerably more than a man, does that change, the thinking?
How are they gonna say that?
It does.
And what if you were to meet a woman that's already established? You know what I mean? She's making her own money. She's doing her thing. And like my sisters say, what would be her incentive? What would she be getting out the relationship? Right? And as a guy, he should be asking himself, well, what do I have to offer? Because she's already providing for herself. Can I buy you a house? I already got a house. Can I buy you a car? I got a car. Like, what do I have to offer? What am I bringing to the table? Because she's already doing the providing and she's protecting herself. Like, a guy should be asking himself, what can I bring to the table? And they're probably intimidated when they see boss women doing their thing.
But I think that still goes back to how do you define providing? You know, because everybody provides. Because for me, yeah, I have all that. I do that. That's great for me. But what can you bring to the table? You can bring companionship. I think companionship. I can give myself the courage of leading. I can do that in my life all day. But I think that as a society, media, and just life in general has really created this and strong law, lead, blah, blah, blah. But forget that we're still those women that are just the boss of bosses, that still doesn't human. We like to be we like to thrive off companionship that so those are things that I bring to the table that I leave off. He can't pay my rent or my mortgage. He can't, but can he provide you emotional support?
But how many men would be comfortable doing that? Is the question.
Yeah, that
it depends on because it doesn't mean that he can't contribute. He may not be able to contribute exactly what you think he should be, but that doesn't mean he's not providing. And that's why I say you have to provide. For me, sometimes that, you know, if a man could pay the mortgage, I'll take care of everything else. Because then I can say you provide somewhere for us to live.
Mm-hmm.
I can pay a light bill, phone bill, but at the day, am I coming home to money or companion at home in my endeavors with my success that we can build together? If that man doesn't think he should have, sometimes he has the woman that we are. Sometimes cultivate that if he has the intent to become greater, but if I think that we're greater, you can't submit to him. And
It's really breaking up. I can't hear Clarvette. Can anybody else is breaking up?
I'm
There's
just
a lot of feedback. Yeah.
I don't know where it's coming from. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you, but it was just breaking up really bad.
That sucks. I just really. But basically, I was just saying that when you define your provide and what that means, that doesn't mean that we can break a man down because he doesn't make a certain amount of money and can provide financial. But that means that sometimes we can nurture the seed on the inside to develop, and we can become the power couple that we want to be. That also means that maybe I just need you to pay the mortgage, and that's how covering you, taking care of and provided somewhere for us to stay and handle the rest. But that doesn't build us and make us a couple. It's our commitment to each other, our trust to each other. Because at the end of the day, if we didn't have any money, would you still be able to say you have a friend and a companion that you can share your life with?
I don't know. I think the way guys are wired, I don't think many men would be comfortable if they were honest with themselves. Would be comfortable having a woman be a total breadwinner.
Yeah, not long term, and I think a woman would eventually kind of get a little tired of that
Yes.
as well, in the main breadwinner, and especially when you will have guys and other men approach you like, you doing all of that, you handling all of that. Well, nobody should be all in your business, but unfortunately, we talk, and then it's like you go to thinking, man, that might be a little, and then this other person may start offering you all this other type of stuff.
Right.
So it's like, or you may start feeling, let's say y'all start having just other issues, with communication. So then what wasn't a problem, foundational stuff, what wasn't a problem is a problem,
Right.
especially if you could. Go ahead. I'm
Because
sorry.
if you're not being true to yourself, if you have a conversation at the beginning of what is acceptable, what are your growth areas, who's going to do what, then that is the foundation. If it wavers from that, it's learning how to communicate with each other. Then it won't be like, well, you sorry couldn't do that, and that speaks to your character. It doesn't speak to the fact that this person wasn't the breadwinner.
Mike and Jerome, how comfortable would you be if your woman and wife was making all the money? How comfortable would you be in your role in the relationship? If you were just there for emotional support or to help, to travel or whatever. How comfortable
I mean,
honestly,
personally, me myself, yeah, I would be uncomfortable with that. But it depends on it. But honestly, it also depends on how to make you feel. To make me feel like money matters about our relationship. But if it makes me feel like money matters, that's the most comfortable I be. But yes, generally, I would probably be comfortable being that. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely didn't say not paying.
Well, I say it like this: I don't want a Lamborghini, but I wouldn't mind riding in one for a little while.
I'm done with.
Yeah.
How comfortable would you be if your wife was making all the money?
Huh?
How comfortable would you be if your wife was making all the money?
That's what I'm saying. That was my analogy. That was what the analogy
you
was
just
about.
wouldn't have her buy you a Lamborghini.
Said it again.
So what are you saying?
I wouldn't. I don't know that I would be comfortable in that situation. But however, I've never been in that situation, and it would be.
You willing to try it out, Mike? Willing to try it out? You willing to try it out?
Like I said, I don't want a Lamborghini. However,
so you're okay.
I wouldn't mind riding in one for a little
while.
I think that's the thing that I think that part is the negative connotations that we put on it. We're saying that you're a kept man. It's about the personality of people that's in that relationship.
Right. I'm not there for the money. She just happened to make more money than I do.
Right. Because that man could very well, that woman, if she's submissive to that man, just because she makes more than him doesn't mean she can't submit. So she submits to that man and still treat him like the king of the castle. If he's not paying the bills, then he's still going to be the man.
I think it would get old real quick, and it would be some resentment starting to creep in. If I'm doing all the work, I'm bringing all the money in, and that's just me personally, though. I can't speak for every woman, but I would not be comfortable in that situation. And I've been in relationships like that, so I'm speaking from experience.
Right. Like I said, it's a mindset thing. It's about what you desire, what your values are. Like, what's more important? Is it, money is success over companionship, love, family. Whatever's more important to you, you have to value your relationship.
Right.
I mean, money obviously it's a tool. It's needed, obviously, to in society. You know what I mean? And it's tied to power. Whoever controls the money controls makes all the decisions. You know what I mean? That they have the power.
In whose mindset, though?
Right.
In whose life does that matter?
Society in
That's
general.
a personal thing.
Gabrielle Union recently, Gabrielle Union said in an interview that in her first marriage, she cheated on her husband because she made more money than he did.
No
You know what I'm
respect.
saying?
No
So
respect.
like
He
there's a
didn't
lot of
respect him in the first
connotation
place.
attached, you know.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
It would
thing
be
right there.
hard for a
She
woman to
didn't marry him
respect a
out of
man
love,
that-
and she didn't respect him in the first place.
Right.
If that's what she said, because
Right.
I read that she did say that, but she didn't
Right.
respect him in the first place, in my opinion, and she definitely didn't marry him out of love.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Because at the end of the
Well,
day, if you really think about it, when you get married, that you make more money or he make more money, you guys make it together. So when you take the eye out of it, it changes the whole perspective because no over the next person. We are one. This is our money.
Yeah,
That's
A
true.
I agree with that.
woman needs to feel secure. A woman needs to feel protected.
Feel that way.
Fundamentally, that's in our nature. And if you can't provide security and protection, so why if I do all these things for myself?
So
why
men want
would
none
I
of those.
Huh?
Men don't want any of those things.
But what I'm saying is you're equipped for it. You are equipped for it.
and so
Like
are you.
if a woman was attacked, we don't have the muscles. We're not built to protect ourselves.
But we're not talking
Who
about.
has all the muscles?
But I think he's talking about from a emotional.
Emotional. There's so many different ways.
You know what I'm saying? I think he's talking about from a relational, emotional.
Just from an emotional relationship standpoint.
Right.
Once again, we should be responsible for our own emotions, dealing with our own feelings, and make sure we're checking ourselves and not pointing finger of blame. I do not want to come into a relationship and where someone is depending on me, whether they feel good or not, or whether they have. I'm going to make sure that I do my best to be happy and you know what I'm saying, to do, to process my feelings, and you know what I mean, and as long as we both do our part, like don't depend on me, and that's so unfair, you know what I mean, to say that I'm in this relationship, I need emotional support, like that's not fair. I don't look for some. We'd have to compliment each other, not have to. You know what I mean?
Well, see, you're adding, but you're kind of adding a little frosting to the cake when you use words like depending. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm with you, and I'm like I said, I'm speaking as a married man or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain level of support that I would hope and expect to get from you. Not that I'm depending on it per se, but if I'm doing all these things for you, I'm protecting, I'm providing, I'm doing all these things for you. I don't think that it's beyond the pale to say, babe, tell me I look nice or whatever, whatever it looks like for you. I'm not necessarily depending on it. However, it's good for me to feel that you see value in me in regards to you. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. Oh, yes, absolutely.
So it's not necessarily dependent. And I think furthermore, I think that's why a lot of relationships end up failing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why there's a lot of infidelity, because one person is expected to do a whole bunch of things. And so I'm carrying the emotional baggage for me and you.
Exactly.
You know
that's what it sounds like to me. Like if someone doesn't process their own feelings and emotions, right? And they're expecting someone else to carry them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And their mood depends on this person, right? It's unfair. Like you both should come in complete. You both should come in healed. All those trauma wounds and stuff should be worked out individually, and then you come together and complement each other. So when one person might have a bad day, that's fine and dandy, but say that, you know, my happiness depends on this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have to do backflips and do this, that, and the third
Yeah,
to make me
yeah,
feel
that's
good about myself.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I agree. But I think, like I said, like with Jerome, I think that he was talking about something a little bit different. I think that, you know, like I said, you know, because I you know, I compliment him. Hey, I like that dress on you. That's a nice color for you. I like your hair like that. You know, your nails. Are those new shoes? You know what I'm saying? Like those type of things.
Right.
But then when the roles reverse, I never get, hey, I like your haircut. Oh, you look good in that suit.
But if you don't vocalize like if you don't tell your wife or you tell your significant other that, you know, you have to communicate that. Yeah. Because some people have different love languages. Some guys might be okay with that. Not, you know, getting compliments. Their love language might be something else. It might be gifts, or you know what I mean? Like, so.
But you know what? It's all the same. It may be different levels. It may be different expressions, but it's going towards the same ultimate statement you're trying to make. Hey,
right.
You matter. Whether it be me giving you a compliment, or me giving you a gift, or me getting your car washed, whatever the case may be, although the expressions may be different, the sentiment is still the same. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I'm, you know, like I said, I personally, I do just cuz cards. You know, I buy cards and stuff for no reason. I compliment. You know, I try to notice. Hey, did you lose weight? Did you this? Whatever. You know, that looks good. But when I make it a personal effort to do that.
Right, but here's my thing. Is it something that she asks you to do, or is it something that you feel like you want to do? You know what I mean? Did you have a conversation to say, you know what, honey, what are some things I can do, or that I do that makes you feel appreciated, or makes you feel loved, or makes you feel, you know what I mean?
And the timing of those.
We all want to feel accepted. We all want to feel understood. We all want to feel loved at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So there are different things, like flowers for one woman might be a gesture that would bring all those feelings, and for another woman it might not mean anything. Maybe she wants jewelry, or you know, whatever, or just a note saying I think about you, or a text throughout the day. So you have to have that conversation and be open and say, you know what, I really like when you do this. I really like when you leave me little notes around the house. That makes me feel really good. That makes my day. You know what I mean? So then, you know, you're not like shooting, going based on what you like or what you think they would like. You've had the conversation. You know what it is, you know, for each other, and then you do that.
Yeah. I think we can get more what we want by having honest conversations and the time conversations. Because you don't want to come off as being a smart aleck in this. Well, you don't do this and you don't do that, and I could really use this or use that. But the timing of those conversations are key, so that people aren't offended, you know, and you get your needs met, and you know everybody is in a better place. And that's why I said, going into a relationship, I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I don't want. Exactly. So let's talk about that. And then if we figure we can compromise with those particular things, then, you know, we can move forward. But if we can't, then okay, we'll be good friends or what have you. But it's all about communication. And at this, well, you know, Trina, you're single, I'm single. It's like, we've had experiences of different situations, so we're all old enough to know what we want and what we don't want.
Right.
And it's to each his own what the preferences are and what works for the you know, your relationship with that other person.
Absolutely. She said agreed. Okay.
That picture of Michael Jackson is taking me out every time I see it.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
So guys, we've been talking for about 2 hours straight.
Oh,
wow.
And
Good conversation.
I think that I still think that we just scratched the surface, but I know that you guys got stuff that y'all want to do, and maybe we could do, maybe we could do another one of these very, very soon. I thoroughly enjoyed this, even with the late addition of Clarvette. Shout out to her.
Thank you, Corvette.
You're welcome. It was good.
I'm gonna ask each one of y'all. I'm gonna ask a question, and I want each one of y'all to answer it. This is a question that I ask all my guests. So I want y'all to just take a moment, think about it once I ask it, and just give me your honest answers. And so here's the question. What would have to happen in your life, if it hasn't happened already, for you to consider your life a success? What does success look like for you specifically? Anybody can start.
Wow.
My definition of success is to become who I am. Is to become who God created me to be, right? So it is to be able to be, do, have, and give all that my heart desires. So whatever that looks like, whatever I'm doing, I'm expressing love, whatever I'm, it's all about love at the end of the day, right? And how each one of us express it best. So I could be the best Trina. I can out Trina anybody on this panel. Tasha can out Tasha anybody on this panel. Mike, you can out Mike anybody on this panel. Nobody can Mike like Mike, okay?
Right.
Jerome, can't nobody out Jerome like Jerome. You could be the best Jerome there is in the history of Jerome's, right? So we're all express who we are, who we truly are. When we stop pointing the finger, hiding behind other people, placing blame, choosing to take offense, and just mind our own business, focus on developing ourselves and expressing ourselves in the best way possible. You know what I mean? That would be success. So it's going to look different for everybody because we all have, a different way of expressing ourselves.
Okay.
Mine, great. That was great, Trina. Mine would be the same, pretty much the same. The living out my purpose, who God has called me to be in every area of my life. And just, growing. That would be the ultimate, to live out my purpose in every area of my life of who God would have me to be. Yes. In my life and the life of the people around me.
Yes.
Me. I would say very similar to total financial freedom, established for generations to come, especially when it comes to children, and just staying healthy. I just feel like I'm supposed to enjoy life. I feel like the purpose of life, like not only to enjoy kids grow to read, and that's just something I want to do. I love having financial freedom and just establish with my.
Well, I pretty say, but for me the this would be well, and the freedom to live to enjoy my life, where money is not, and I'm happy and just doing me. Purpose fulfilled.
Yes.
Okay, and for me, success is, and I tell everybody this, Success for me is bridging the gap between what I'm supposed to be doing and actually doing it.
I like it.
So becoming who you are.
Yeah.
We all want to die empty, right? We have so much to give the world. We're here for a reason.
Yeah.
That's
We're
right.
here for a reason. We're here on a mission. And nobody, you don't want to be uncomfortable. You want to do what you love doing. You know what I mean? Work, being paid for doing what you love is not like work. You know what I mean? It's what you're
Right.
called to do. It's who you are. It's not even. It's not what you do. It's literally who you are. And that's freedom. You know what I mean? Getting paid, that's a bonus. Oh, y'all want to pay me for being me? Like I said, nobody can beat me at being me. Nobody can outdo any of you at being yourself. So if somebody wants, if this world wants to pay you, that God provides for what God calls for. When you're in your calling and you know what your purpose is, and you're walking in that, and the getting paid for being who you are, that's the bonus. You know what I mean? That's the cherry on top. But you love what you're doing. You don't feel like you're in bondage. You're not going to a job that you hate. You know what I'm saying? You're happy. So then you're being your relationships are good because you're coming in. You're happy. You're thriving, right? And so everyone else is thriving around you.
That's right.
Tell your sister she doing too much.
What's she do?
We needed to bring Tina on too, right?
She said, autonomous, lavish, steady, secure, and unyielding streams of income consistent with freedom of my time, integrity, mutual benefit, and perfect self-expression. I love it.
Hers.
She doing too much. I ain't asked her nothing. She doing too much. I ain't asked her nothing.
Oh my God.
That's her definition of success.
Listen, she's doing too much. Nah, I'm joking. But
free to be ourselves. That's all.
Right. I really I appreciate you guys coming on, man. I had a blast. And we should definitely do this again very, very soon.
It was a pleasure.
Yes.
I had a blast.
Yes,
once
sir.
again, Mike, I can't thank you enough for inviting me on. And
thank you, Mike.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Clarvette, for coming on and putting in your 2 cents.
Yeah.
And you know you're my girl. We go to the same church, and we are super cool. We are super close. That's my like my sister. But again, man, I thank you guys for coming on, being so honest and transparent, man. And listen, I had a blast, and I know the people had a blast. I'm looking at the comment section, and it's full. So
I don't think we agreed on anything in terms of like the guys versus the women.
Right.
But we agree to disagree.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's all love. So thank you guys for having me and allowing me to express myself. It's all love. I love men. I don't have anything personal against men.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Thank you, guys. I'm a little nervous, but I really appreciate the opportunity, and I love a great conversation. So
yeah, and you guys definitely, man. Like when y'all on your social media, man, search each other out, man. Like that's one of the things that this platform is about. It's about bringing people together that wouldn't necessarily or wouldn't ordinarily cross paths. So if y'all get a moment, man, like follow each other or friend each other or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's absolutely. But with that being said, man, I thank y'all again for coming out, man, and I look forward to having y'all on again real soon, collectively and individually. And with that being said, does anybody have any last words before we sign off?
I can't believe we've been on for 2 hours.
14 minutes.
It was worth it to see the guys shifting their seats and stuff and getting all uncomfortable. That was hilarious.
I
Yeah.
learned to fly. I really learned to fly.
Jerome, you had it with us.
What are they talking about? That's so funny.
Mike, why you was looking like I done made a mistake tonight?
Listen, I ain't gonna lie, we had a few sketchy moments. I was like, okay.
But you should know, you know me, and you should know Trina. So
Yeah. Well, Trina has been on the platform before.
No,
but,
that was Tina.
No, that was Tina. That was Tina. I'm sorry. You're right.
It's
You're
okay.
Right.
We're identical twins, so we get mixed up all the time. It's all right.
You're right. You're right. That was, well, I have not seen her in this way before. But however, growing up, she was the more sassy one, and Tina was the more quiet one. But it seems like it's starting to like shift a little bit. So
Tina was undercover. See, she's coming out her shell. I always kept it real. That was. I always put it out there on the table. You always knew when you. I'm always 6 o'clock all day long, straight up and down. 6 o'clock.
See, but tonight, you know, I actually see the old Trina. So it's still in there. It's still in there. And you know, again, you know, my brother, man, I you know, this is special because he's never been on, and this is long overdue, man. Like this is my guy. You know, he is one of 2 brothers that I have. Jason, I was trying to get him on tonight, but he couldn't make it, so maybe next time. But you know, it is what it is. And like I said, I thank you guys for, you know, taking your time out. And I appreciate it. Definitely.
Thanks for having us, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
There you go, guys. We had another great interview with a group of people who definitely had strong opinions and strong viewpoints, and I loved it, every bit of it. I look forward to doing that again really, really soon. I had a blast. I thank you guys for coming on and watching the show. Thank you for commenting and giving us your opinions and stuff like that. I truly appreciate it. And hopefully this is something that you can take home with you and, you know, just in your own thoughts, you know what I mean? Maybe we changed something. Maybe we didn't. I don't know. But, you know, give us all something to think about. I know I do. But with that being said, man, I thank y'all for watching. Shout out to Pastor Nick. What's up? I see you down there. I thank y'all for coming on, man, because I know y'all could be doing a bunch of other things. I appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. You guys have a great evening and great weekend. All right. That being said, let's take a walk.